Welcome to the news on Enyimba TV. We are reaching you from the commercial city of Aba. First, the headlines. Residents of Omuma Road in Aba protest over unreliable power supply. Court orders Abia government to continue with judges' recruitment. Imo State APC Ward Chairman lands in police net for allegedly selling federal government's palliative. Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. My name is Esther Chema. Now the news in detail. Residents of Omuma Road in Aba have staged a peaceful protest demonstration to express their frustration and disappointment over what they described as persistent lack of reliable power supply from the Aba Power Distribution Company. The protesters, who marched through Omuma Road, called on the authorities to address the issue and provide a stable and efficient power supply to the area. They highlighted the economic and social impacts of the power outages, which have affected businesses, homes, and daily lives. The demonstration was peaceful, with protesters carrying placards and chanting slogans to draw attention to their plight. The residents urged the power company to take immediate action to resolve the issue and ensure a consistent power supply to the community. Lawmaker representing Ikwano, Umuahia North and Umuahia South Federal Constituency of Abia State, Obi Agocha, says a group planning a protest against him wants to discredit him. The group is alleging that the lawmaker has not done constituency projects and lacks accountable representation. He said the group, going by the name of Niger Delta Youth Peace Builders, is being sponsored by certain individuals to cast aspersions on his person in Abuja. Honorable Agocha said that the concerns raised in their notice were not out of place, adding that he has consistently worked hard to secure viable projects for the constituency, including human capital development opportunities in the Appropriations Act 2024. Justice Nelson Obwanya of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria has ordered Abia State government to continue with the process of recruiting judges. He made the order in a suit by the State Attorney General Ikechukwu Owanna against the Abia Judicial Service Commission, Mr. E. Agbolonu, Oluchi Nkume, and the National Judicial Council (NJC). This suit was on the state's protracted judicial appointment exercise. The previous process was allegedly enmeshed in controversies and marred by litigations which stalled it. The fresh exercise was also threatened by petitions against its continuation. The development created the impression that the state government could no longer engage in a fresh process of appointing judges unless the previous stalled exercise was revived. Justice Obwanya granted an order directing the Judicial Service Commission to continue with the process of appointment of judges of the Abia State Judiciary, the requisite approval for the 2024 exercise having been obtained from the NJC. President Bola Tinubu has approved new Directors General for the National Intelligence Agency (NIA) and the Department of State Services (DSS). The presidential spokesman, Ajurin Gelale, in a statement, said President Tinubu appointed Mohammed as the new NIA boss, while Adeola Ajayi has been appointed to lead the secret police. Ngelale said the fresh appointments followed the resignation of Ahmed Rufai of the NIA and Yusuf Bichi of the DSS. The president had retained Bichi and Rufai in June 2023 when he fired all service chiefs and heads of security agencies. Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Agbetokun is condemning the attack and killing on policemen by members of the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria, popularly known as the Shiite group. In a statement signed by the Force Police Relations Officer, ACP Olumoyiwa Adejobi, the IGP vowed to arrest those involved in the barbaric act and bring them to justice. Agbetokun said the police have arrested 97 suspects and recovered several arms used in the attack, while adding that the Nigerian police force is determined to uncover the full extent of the attack and prevent future occurrences. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) is commencing a 7-day warning strike over the abduction of their colleague, Guineat Popola, who has been held captive for 8 months. President of NAD, Dele Abdullahi, announced a strike during a virtual emergency meeting of the National Executive Council of the association at midnight. He noted that any center that fails to comply with the strike directive would be fined heavily and denied participation in the forthcoming annual general meeting of resident doctors. Members of the association across the country had earlier staged a protest march in all tertiary hospitals to demand the release of Mrs. Popola, a registrar in the Department of Ophthalmology at the National Eye Center, Kaduna, who was abducted in December 2023 alongside her husband and nephew. The proposed meeting between the federal government and members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has been postponed. President of ASU, Emmanuel Asodeke, confirmed that the meeting will no longer be held as announced by the Minister of Education on Friday. Although no reason was given for the postponement, the meeting is now expected to be held on Wednesday, August 28. Enyimba TV reports that public university lecturers under the auspices of ASU had last week threatened to embark on a nationwide strike over what they describe as the unwillingness of the federal government to honor the 2009 renegotiation agreement. Nigerian Union of Teachers is condemning the federal government's decision to ban under 18 candidates from sitting for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination and the National Examination Council, even as the Academic Staff Union of Universities backed the policy. The Secretary General of the Union, Dr. Mike Ene, in an interview, said the changes in society, like early enrollment in crèches due to economic pressures, made it unrealistic to restrict learning based on age. He added that exceptional students who might be younger but academically advanced were not considered in the policy, warning that the policy could lead to legal challenges and urged the government to rethink it, calling it poorly conceived. A report by Budget, an accountability firm, has revealed that the federal government spent 3 times its revenue in 2023, resulting in a deficit of 13.50 trillion naira. In its analysis of the 2023 fiscal accounts from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Budget stated that the government's revenue last year was 5.99 trillion naira, while it spent 19.50 trillion naira, exceeding its income by 225%. The report showed that the revenue came from various sources, including 3.80 trillion naira from the Federal Account Allocation Committee, 1.98 trillion naira from the federal government's independent revenue, and 202.54 billion naira from other sources. This deficit highlights the government's continued drift away from fiscal responsibility as it borrows more than it earns, perpetuating a cycle of debt and financial instability. Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has overturned the judgment of a federal high court which ordered the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to allow the participation of 381 ad hoc delegates in its February 22 primary election in Edo State. The primary election produced Asue Igadalo as the candidate of the party in the September 21, 2024 governorship election in the state. A 3-man panel of the appellate court set aside the judgment of Justice Inyang Eko, declared on the 4th of July 2024, on the grounds that the trial court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit of the aggrieved delegates in the first place, having lacked the necessary legal rights to initiate the suit. Counsel to the Edo State APC candidate, Kehinde Akinlolu, told Enyimba TV after the court sitting that the court held that it cannot interfere with how the PDP select its candidate for the September 21 governorship election in Edo State. The world chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC in Ejemekuru Oguta local government area of Imo State, Dominic Ikbama, has landed in the police net for allegedly selling the federal government's palliatives meant for the people of Ejemekuru Autonomous Community. He was arrested by the Oguta Divisional Headquarters following a petition against him by the traditional ruler of the community, His Royal Highness Eze Hippolyte Obinna Duru, who alleged that the politician sold 20 bags of corn and 5 bags of gari meant for the community. The monarch said the action is a ploy to sabotage the efforts of both the federal and state governments to alleviate the suffering of the people of his community. Reacting to the allegation leveled against him, the APC World Chairman said he shared the palliatives to 5 villages instead of the 23 villages based on the quantity of the items. Ikpama denied being arrested by the police and maintained that he was rather invited by the police authorities, who later asked him to go and reconcile the differences with his people. You are still watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with the lead story for the day, in addition to business, sports updates. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for staying there. Now the rest of the news. At least 60 people have been killed after a dam burst because of heavy rainfall in war-torn Sudan. Search operations are currently underway, but there are fears that the death toll could be even higher. The Arabat Dam has a capacity of 25 million cubic centimeters and is the main source of drinking water for the coastal city of Port Sudan, where the military government is based. After being ravaged by 16 months of civil war, Sudan is now experiencing torrential rains and floods that have killed dozens and forced tens of thousands from their homes. The collapse of the dam in Red Sea State is one of the worst incidents, washing away farms and villages downstream. And now from the business sector. Many filling stations operated by independent oil marketers have now fixed the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, at between 900 naira and 1,000 naira per litre. Owners of these stations seem not to care about the cost of the product at retail outlets operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company. Petrol prices at 617 naira per litre. This often leads to queues at the stations. As Nigerians raise concern about the high cost of the commodity by independent petrol dealers, the federal government has also vowed to shut down filling stations that will be caught dispensing PMS at exorbitant rates. It declared this through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, stressing that it was not in the interest of Nigerians for marketers to profiteer in the sales of PMS. And now sports. Technical Director of the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF), Augustine Igwevin, will unveil the Super Eagles squad for the 2024 African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda this week. Igwevin has been mandated to take charge of the team for the 2 games, with the NFF yet to appoint a substantive head coach for the Super Eagles. The 59-year-old, according to reports, has already shortlisted 40 players for both games. The former defender is, however, expected to prune the list to 23 before making it public. Some of the regular stars like Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman, Wilfred Ndidi and Semi Ajayi are expected to be included in the squad. The Super Eagles will begin their qualifying campaign against neighbors Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, on Saturday, September 7. The West Africans will take on Rwanda 3 days later at the Amahoro Stadium, Kigali. And with that sports story, we wrap up this edition of the news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a quick recap of the top stories. Residents of Omoma Road in Aba protest over unreliable power supply. Court orders Abia government to continue with judges' recruitment. Imo State APC World Chairman lands in police net for allegedly selling federal government's palliatives. Now that's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chima. Do have for yourself a wonderful day.